behind it is here. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to your Thursday night broadcast here on SRW TV. Tonight it is the Cammus Toyota GR86 Series, and tonight it is round 6 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Something, can't pronounce that. Maybe my host Ryan Green can pronounce it better for me.
Good evening, we are at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, bud.
Gilles Villeneuve. Mate,
appreciate it.
Formula One driver, one of the greatest.
Yeah, I'm not too good with pronunciations, but tonight's round sponsorship is thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, and of course everybody out there viewing tonight. It is a 4.31 kilometre track. We are doing the full course here this evening for the 86ers. Let's do a quick round recap of last week from the 86ers. Sure. Last week was a sprint round with a heat and a feature race, and we were hosted at Suzuka GP. In the first heat, we saw Jamie Christensen take the win, Jet O'Murray in second, and Jason Douglas in third. Cracking race, by the way. If you have not watched that, go back and check it out on our YouTube. It is all there ready for you to watch. I am struggling, still 2 screens, and here is our season standings as they sit after round 5. Jamie Christensen from Team SRW Motorsports is leading the charge at the moment on 694 points. Not far behind him is Mr. John McHenry for Locked On Lads Racing. I'm going to start calling him Mr. Consistent this season. Only has seen himself on the podium once, but still holds that second spot on our leaderboard. Joshua Horton from LMR Esports on 608 points will follow him up, and his teammate Jet Murray will sit right behind him in 4th on 587 points. Callan Hodgkinsons will sneak his way into 5th from Crisscross Racing. Ryan Price, the privateer, will be sneaking in at 16. Sinkovic from Team SRW Motorsports on a flat 500 will be in 7th. Kevin Wakefield in 8th, Dylan Gray in 9th, Greg Johnson in 10th, Stephen Sinkovic in 11th, Mark Turner 12th, Bruce White 13th, and Mr. Greg Leake from Team Greg Racing, which he is actually unwell due to health issues again at the moment, so we wish the best for Mr. Greg Leake. Cracking series here, the GR86, with some big news coming that it could become a production car series where the TCR and the 86s do get involved together. I'd also like everybody to come join our Discord if you want to get involved. The 86s and TCR are now opened. You can come and join and have a race absolutely free, so come and get your names in. Right, are you ready now, Ryan?
I'm ready.
Do you want me to start all over again? We'll just kick that back.
Yeah, let's just
wind it back.
Do the 5-minute intro as well, I reckon.
Yeah, nobody will mind at all. I'm sure of it.
Let's pretend like it's what's that that movie Click? Get the
Click.
remote going.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Groundhog Day. Everybody wakes up and they're like, "Oh, hang on a second, what's going on here?"
Same difference, really.
Mate, can you tell us a bit about this amazing circuit?
Not tonight. I can't believe you've done that. I haven't got my sheet.
You said that. I asked if you were ready, mate.
No, it is one of the great circuits. Obviously appears just about every year on year on the Formula One calendar. Generally produces great racing, as it's pretty much just straights, chicane, hairpin, straight, and then so situated in the city of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It's naturally a street circuit, but it is still an FIA Grade 1 circuit. capacity of about 100,000 people. So, and it's on this nice little I can't remember the name of the island, but it's on a quite a small island that runs in through the middle of Montreal, and it's yeah, as we said, pre-race named after Gilles Villeneuve, the Formula One world champion himself. So, but yeah, as far as circuits go, they don't come much better than this.
No, it is a pretty awesome circuit. I think the 86ers are going to take extremely well to this, and you can actually see from our blimp view how much of it is actually surrounded by water. It looks like there's definitely more water than there is racetrack at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I'm not sure whether the island itself is. I believe it is a natural island. It's not an artificially made one. It may have had some additions over the past, but yeah, it's a great little spot. It's, you know, almost the perfect size for a racing circuit, and it's good to have like it almost looks like a purpose-built island.
It does. From this blimp view, it does look like they've built it just for a racetrack because it works amazingly. So,
our big spots tonight, yeah, obviously down into turn 12 and 13. Definitely going to be the big spot. We got such a big straight at the hairpin out of turn 10. Just maybe Christensen disappears from screen. Such a big run down from turn 10, the turn 10 hairpin, and then all the way down through what's technically turn 11, down the casino straight into turn 13, pit lane, wall of champions. We will see. We will see cars in the wall there tonight. Could it be Jed O'Murray, our former champion? It does get the name for a reason. Pretty much every Formula One champion ever has crashed at that wall. Hence the name.
It's like a little signature spot, isn't it, where everybody signs the rear or the side of their car onto the wall.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The curbs are super massive heading through there as well. As you can see, the cuts are it's very easy to get a slowdown. It's very easy to get cuts through there. It's and not to mention they are.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably the safest way to go through there.
This is straight across. I was not expecting that.
That would be the safest way to go through there.
Here we go. Here's a car actually. See how much.
And yeah, you're just gonna pick up a lot of understeer as you're coming through there especially the exit curb. Oh, sorry, the curb of turn 13 on the apex. If you can hang two wheels in the air for too long there, you're really gonna understeer, and it's just straight into the wall. Of course, this track being a straight circuit, wall's super close as well, so if any sort of off is going to result in a visit with Mr. Barrier.
Well, these guys have been pretty clean this series, actually across all seasons. We haven't seen many safety cars. Do you think as we see the Boogie Bomb car riding into that wall?
I would say, yeah, tonight's definitely going to be one of the ones where we see a safety car, because it's not going to be a matter of, are they crashing into each other? Genuinely, it just could be, are these guys, how hard can you push it, and what's the limit? It's one of those like 90%, 95% push circuits, but you don't want to push that 100% because you get to get it wrong exactly once before you're in the wall.
Yeah, and with only one fast repair as well. Guys definitely don't want to be seeing extra damages taking up time on the track tonight, as we are heading into the Toyo Sim qualifying session. You see all the drivers heading out onto track to try and find their spot.
But judging by what I saw in practice, I do believe we're looking at times around the 1:44 range. The lap record around this place is 1:13, done by Valtteri Bottas in the W10 in the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, so definitely not going to be getting anywhere near that sort of time. But this track only has the one official layout, it being a street circuit, not really much room, and as you saw with the blimp shots, really not a lot of room for, you know, shorter tracks, different service roads you can use as tracks. It's very restrictive in that sense, but at the same time, what they have got is truly one of the greatest racetracks. Everybody looks forward to the Canadian Grand Prix every year, and with just the way it's constructed, with the chicanes, the high risk, high speed, as you see the guys starting their lap, just full commitment over to the turn 13 curve, and that's going to be, turn 13 is going to be the massive spot, could make or break your lap. Last corner through here is going to be huge. Turn 1, it's big, nice tight, and then turn 2 is even tighter, deceptively long corner, and if you get on the power toe early, you're on the grass and in the fence. Running down now into turn 3, it's a bit of a weird downhill. You're going to pick up a lot of understeer, grab that curb, get 2 whiz in the air, and then again, walls right there on exit. Round to turn 4 and in through 5, heading into the entry of 6 here. This is, you can take a lot of this sort of like rubbered curb almost, and then it's all about the exit here. This is a decently long straight from 7 all the way down through 8, and it's just watching your gears, watching the revs, making sure you're hitting the right point, maximizing all of the car's power, hard on the brakes, and these curbs as well, very deceptively large. They're not colored anti-cut curbs, but they do quite big, quite big as well. And on the exit 9, as we saw, wall just there again. All of these chicanes, the exit, the wall is right there. So if you push it too hard, you get that bit of understeer. You're going to be right in the fence, nailing the braking zone there for turn 10. And then this is the one we're talking about, out of turn 10, getting a great exit. Make sure you not pick up the TC at all, because you got a long run down. This is going to, slipstream is going to be so intense coming down here, all the way down into turn 12 and 13, the Wall of Champions. You see cars side by side, 2 wide, 3 wide even through here, and there's really only one line. It's very hard to attack down here. Hard on the brakes, and then using all of the curb. You got to do it, but it's tough, and just missing the wall. It's a very good first lap there from Joshua Horton as he crosses the line, doing a 1. No, that was an outlap. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was a bloody blistering outlap.
It was a push outlap, yeah. No, we are only on the outlap. I was going to say 155. I was like, that seems quite slow. That'll be why. Sorry if I talked through a bit there.
No, go for it. I am not that stressed at all, mate. I am not going to complain about still not having enough monitors to do what I want to do with it, because that's why I wasn't talking. Trying to sort out so I can see everything going on. Jet Murray has come through with a 153.822. B White, Bruce White, the 156.295, so they're still relatively off the pace of the LMR Esports driver, as we see him eat that wall really, really nicely. Not a place that you want to do that during the race, so it's going to be interesting to see how many people do their best to avoid the walls, and in some cases they're probably not going to avoid those walls. So I reckon we're going to possibly see at least a safety car tonight. These 86s and these high-peaked curbs, I think once someone hits one and gets a little unsettled, especially if the front runners hit one, it's going to be a whole field pile up behind them. So I'm definitely going to put down one safety car this seasoning. Sure, this seasoning. Dear, oh dear.
Just like round 1 with Monza and that turn 4-5 chicane variante alta, it's very, you can kick these cars up a lot, and when you got wheels up one side and they're coming back down, still compressing, and then you get the other side up in the air, it's very unsettling to the balance, and it's all in the wheel, it's all in your right foot. It just takes every bit of car control to really maximize the time. as we've seen Bruce White come across the line now for a 1:57 lap time. So, seeing the first times roll in, I may have misread the time, saw 1:54s, not 1:44s, so apologies for that on my front. But 1:53.8 then from Jed Murray out of the gate, 2 seconds clear of 1.4 seconds clear even of Josh Horton, so that's a big gap already. I'm sure these guys have got more in the lap. We still Jamie Christensen yet to set a lap. He's going purple in the first sector already, so he looks to be storming.
Jamie Christensen, I keep talking about Jamie. J-Max dropped in, put a heap of hand pink wavings. They also said 2 safety cars. Mr. Dead dropped in at the start of the stream. I actually missed that message. He said cool. I think we're talking about that the 86s and TCRs have been opened up and they're free for everybody to come join. And he might have also been possibly saying cool to the production car series. So that could be in the works, guys. Keep an eye out on the socials and, of course, in the Discord. But yeah, Jamie Christensen, so it wasn't him that drives the 86s in real life. It's actually his brother. So I keep talking about Jamie, the man on the screen right now, about driving these in real life on the racetrack.
That was a lot of curb. I would be surprised if that's valid, but we'll see as he pulls it up. That was, yeah, that's...
He got to slow down.
He did get a slow down, yeah, and the slowdown for cutting that is quite vicious. It's up in the 2-second range, up in the high 2 seconds, so it's really one of the corners where you really got to make sure you're not picking them up, because it's never 2 seconds in iRacing. It always ends up being more. So as we see, race control messages for a rear of grid penalty, Dean Sinkovic for a post-race infringement for the last race. So he'll be starting from the rear of the grid tonight. But this being a sprint round, I believe it is.
No.
But, sorry, I've accidentally muted my mic trying to open Discord.
I don't think it is. I think it's a normal. What I read in series information.
It is normal.
Yep. Normal 60-minute race here tonight. 15 minutes qualifying. Then we head straight into the race. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cars on track tonight. It's probably not going to look like that once we get running. These guys seem to stick on top of each other. I'm still going to be keeping an eye on John McHenry. Bloody Mr. Absolute consistent this season. Only found himself on the podium once, but is sitting in second place in the championship at the moment. So consistent driving, turning up to every race, is keeping him in that battle. While we've got a little bit of time, I'd like to say a huge shout out to Cammus for helping us with the Toyota GR86 Series here. Of course, our round sponsor, Warren and Brown. Tonight's qualifying session is hosted by Toyo Sim, and our fastest lap and pole position is also hosted by Toyo Sim. Huge shout out to Rim Industries and Tempting Sweets, as well as Dragon RC. If you're interested to find out about any of our sponsors, all the links are in the description below. If you want to join our Discord and come see what we can offer you, that link's in the description down below as well. Hey, Matty Jones, welcome to the broadcast, mate. It's unfortunate to see you not be able to compete the other night. I was really excited to see you back on track, mate. And you were asking, where are these races?
VIR North configuration next round. That's for a sprint round. Next round, that's round 7.
Love a good sprint round. A few guys not getting their laps in yet. Maybe they're getting off tracks, mate. Trying to cut the corners too hard. We've got 5 guys setting times at the moment. They're all out there.
Very, very easy to do around here is get these off tracks. The chicanes, they ask you to push the limits, but are not very generous with where the limits are, and it's very on the edge, especially as we said through the last corner. It's such a tight line, and the track limits are so tight. But these cars are asking you to push so much through there and get the two wheels up in the air, go max attack. It's very easy to cut the track, or even on the exit of any of the chicanes, pick up or 0x for wall contact, which will also invalidate your lap. So even if you don't get that off track and you just graze your door on the wall, that's an invalid lap.
Also, just a tiny little nick of the rear view mirror could end that lap for you, as we see a pretty broken car just cruising up the field there. I actually think it's Mr. Kevin Oakwood. He did look like he's having a bit of trouble with the car there. Matty, if you want to come along next week, just throw your name down in the registration section for the GR86 in the Discord for us, mate, so we can make sure to add you to the series. And some exciting stuff coming up with the Toyotas and the TCRs. Good chance we could be turning it into a production car series and getting the cars to race together. All this will be announced once it is approved and organised.
Good few cars there are out on the timing tower, but only 5 setting laps so far, so still over half the grid, it seems, yet to set a lap. Maybe a few different rear of grid penalties as well, but it's just very easy. As I said, only 2 minutes left in the session, and it being almost a 2-minute lap where fair running out of chances to set a lap as a car ended its run in the background there. I'm not sure who that was, but that was a very big hit into one of the walls. I can't even tell what corner that is from that angle. Very, very green track, this one. Very, just Montreal, but just not it's a very luscious place, I guess. One of the more beautiful tracks in the game, I would say. Especially when you're driving around it. Got some very underrated aesthetics, and even in real life, it's the same. It really is a great track, and it should be great for these cars with the slipstream effect. The racing should be great.
I think the racing is going to be awesome. What has happened? Oh, there is still cars on the track. Right, I've just ordered 3 new cords, so if one's broken, I should hopefully be back to 4 monitors by next week, because this is killing me. If I'm quiet, I'm sorry, man. It's me just trying to deal with working with what I've got. So I'm more than happy for you to continue talking. Oh.
So we come into the final stages now of qualifying. I believe 067 car of Steven Sinkovic is the only car left on a valid lap here, so the other cars out on track still are, but he'll be the last car on the valid lap. So car 33 of Kevin Wakefield is down on all sectors so far, so if he's going to improve, he's going to have a stonking last sector here. Jamie Christensen was purple in the first sector, but down in the second. He has set a lap. I didn't even see him go fastest. He's a 153.9 and gone fastest in the first sector. So with that 153.9 and him going fastest, that orange middle sector may not be too bad and can still be a decent improvement. That's full commitment there from Kevin Wakefield, crossing the line for a 2-minute flat there. So quite a bit down on the on his last lap, but that'll end his run with the checkered flag out.
Christensen actually goes quicker, 153.43.
So that's a great lap then for Christensen. Jetto Murray still on his... Sorry, he's got a time of 4 minutes, so his run's done as well.
So we will say
And-
the Toyo Sim best lap of the Toyo Sim qualifying session will go to Jamie Christensen with a 1:53.434. Well done to Jamie for taking out pole tonight. So Stephen is still out there. I just don't think he has the pace of Jamie.
Yeah, any time, if it's valid, will do at this stage. Crossing the line, it may not have been valid. So, yeah, a grid is set for this evening. And Jamie Christensen, congratulations for taking out your Toyo Sim pole position and fastest lap, our qualifying order for tonight. Jamie Christensen, as we said, starting on pole position, followed by Jetta Murray, starting in P2 alongside Joshua Horton in P3 and Bruce White in P4. Ryan Price and Kevin Wakefield in the third row here, P5 and 6. Fourth row to Tyson McAvoy and Jason Douglas. Tyson out there tonight. Is that... No, that's no time. So he'll be race control. There, it's just out of order because there's quite a few cars not setting a time. So safety cars getting mixed in with cars that didn't set times got me acting unwise.
It's Thursday night, mate. It's nearly Friday. Everybody's getting a bit tired from the week. I know I am, that's for sure. How's everybody doing out there this evening? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us tonight here on SRW TV. Jamie Christensen has actually dropped into the chat and said, hello. Hello, mate. Hope you're focused on the race tonight, buddy. The P1's got to be yours, doesn't it? Gonna commentator curse him straight away.
So with only 4 rounds remaining, including this one, Jetta Murray is definitely going to be wanting to put the foot down. Jamie Christensen out in front by quite a margin, but we know how quick Jet can be, and he's most certainly going to want to close that gap and at least try to get as close as he can before the end of the season. As we said, safety car is a high possibility tonight. The wall's so close, so just another 10, 15 seconds or so, no, 10 seconds before we head for the red lights and get us running. As the lights come up now, going red, and there, that was quick. They're out and they're going. Jamie Christensen looked up to get an amazing start there, is well and truly leading Murray down into turn 1. As all the cars off the line perfectly there. That's Horton looking up the inside now around the outside of turn 2. All cars filing through turn 2 quite nicely. That's... Oh, I can't see because the stream may have died a little bit.
White, Price, Douglas, McHenry. Keep your eyes on McHenry. He doesn't set a qualifying lap for a reason. He loves a rear of grid start to fight his way through the battles. Jason Douglas on the back of Ryan Price right now will be wanting to get around these cars to catch up with his teammate Jet Murray. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be an easy battle with Ryan Price in front of him.
So you say Jason Douglas now looking to the outside down to turn 10 hairpin. It's going to be a tough move to get it done, but if he can get it go deep, but he's going to get completely boxing. That's a slow car there. That'll be... Gee, was that Joshua Horton serving a slow down? Maybe just maybe picked up a... looks like he might have picked up a slowdown at the chicane previously and was just serving it before the exit of turn 10, as serving it on this straight was definitely going to hamper his time. So bit of a crescendo effect there, and every car just got checked up. But Horton right now on the back of Jason Douglas, just not going to have any sort of wiggle room down through turn 12 and 13. Well, everyone through the wall of champions the first time, relatively clean. Can't see any cars off in the background. So a couple of hairy moments there on lap 1, but all safe and sound.
Christensen looking to make the move on Horton here. Riding the rear of him extremely closely. Goes a bit wider to try and get a better run out of that corner to see if he can carry more speed.
Okay, so what happened to Christensen then? Started pole position, now down into 5th. I completely missed what happened to him. Maybe we can get a look at that one later on in the race, but for now we'll stick with the action.
Christian was clipped on that slowdown.
That was him running deep.
Yep, he tried to avoid it and wasn't able to, and actually ran deep off the track, and that dropped him a lot of positions. Could work out in his favour because he is now on the back of Joshua Horton. I do know these two like to help each other out through the race, so I'd say he won't mind too much. Oh no, he's copped himself a slowdown through there. Heavy on the brakes to try and get that time, but he's also been round up by Jamie Price. Now Horton round Douglas. Can he make the move stick? He has great move there. That's a very tight section to throw a move in.
So that's definitely one of the spots we're going to look at tonight for slowdown penalties is 8 and 9. It's so fast through there and maximum commitment over the curves. If you cut it a little bit, it's going to hit you with a hefty one. Those drivers are going to want to be serving it before turn 10 because the timer will expire on the slowdown before they make it down to 12 and 13 where we are now for the Wall of Champions. Right up close to the wall, and that's a great run out of the corner there for Jason Douglas. He's not going to have enough for turn 1, but the gap ever so closing down to only 4/10 now. Fastest lap for Jetta Murray coming through a 1:59.9, 1:54.9 even. So it's all happening in the early stages, and slowdowns are going to be the talk of the town, I would say, for the next hour.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks, isn't it? But, it's not very forgiving for wheels over the edge of the track, so keep an eye on that. Hope Christensen doesn't have to deal with any more. Didn't have a great run last week with slowdowns, but still managed to slot himself into 3rd on the podium in the feature race of the sprint round. Speaking of, he is riding Ryan Price pretty hard right now. Closest battle.
Let's have a look. Yeah, just wants to have a look to the outside of turn 8, but just didn't really have any sort of room to go. He's got to slow down there, you know, just only a couple laps ago, so definitely going to not really force anything down there because if you're running side by side, chances are you're off the line as he gets on the anchors and catches Ryan Price kind of just napping there a little bit. I don't really think he saw it coming. He disguised the move very well until the braking zone. Ryan Price not offering much defense, but just pulled out and just broke straight towards the apex there and got the move done. Car pulled up nicely and good move there by Jamie Christensen.
Dean's just made his step forwards up 4 spots off the grid. Managed to get around Kevin Wakefield, but let's see Wakefield allowing him to get away that easy. I've got to say, the Sinkovich boys have definitely picked up these 86s really well this season. 54.84 is the best lap at the moment by Jet Murray.
Yeah, these cars rated E for everyone, I would say. They just gotta, they really go as hard as you want to push them. They're quite forgiving in all areas. You can even turn on, you know, your TC and ABS should you need to get a little bit of help in those departments, but they really go as hard as you dare push them. They're not akin to a supercar in the sense that it requires the know-how in your left and right foot to really maneuver those. They're very much a pick up and drive type of cars, so.
Whee, huge battle here. McHenry snuck through. I told you we got to watch out for him. He's actually managed to get around Christensen. He snuck around Miss Christensen and is now hunting down the back of Douglas. Up 5 spots off qualifying. Oh,
And there we go, Christensen looking for a look, very deep on the brakes. That's Douglas kind of moving to a void there, and Christensen was the beneficiary of that, but I think he just, I think Douglas saw Christian coming in very, very hot, then just
thought that there was...
jerked the wheel left and was just like, we got a long way to go. I don't really want to cop it right now. All the while, Jetta Murray is out to a 3.8 second lead, but Jason Douglas back down the inside of Jamie Christensen. Not a lot he can do there, just kind of has to concede the position. If you eat too much of those curbs, you will be in the fence. Ryan Price now into the pit lane, as John McHenry now, with the compromised exit from Christensen, is going to have a look down into turn 1. Will have the inside, but Jamie Christensen later on the brakes is going to swoop around for a nice line into turn 2. So that's some good defensive driving from the outside there from Jamie Christensen.
I think Ryan Price had an off, mate, and caused himself a bit of damage. That may be why he's snuck into the pits there so early.
Dare I say, you're probably right there. It's a very early pit stop for these cars that, under green flag running, we should see 2 stops tonight. We're running at 24% fuel restriction tonight, so that's 4% less than last week's 28%, and 4% less than the week before, that's 32%. So these fuel tanks getting smaller and smaller week on week, so that will most certainly be a 2-stop strategy tonight for all drivers. No tyres taken, as these tyres do last a long time on these cars. Take far too long to change. Christensen looking deep into turn 10, but he's going to have a great run and switch back down out of the exit here. Running through turn 11, and now he's going to have the inside all the way down to turn 12. The inside of the chicane, but he may have it done before the corner. Jason Douglas switching back, takes the inside back off Christensen, but he's going to have to be deep on the brakes here to get any sort of racing room. Is right alongside, and as he
into the wall. Oh no!
All over the curb, and then both cars in the fence.
Nowhere for Christensen to go. Oh, and then Douglas has reversed back into him. Oh, that is going to be one race control we'll be definitely looking at for the... I don't know if that class is a re-entry, but he definitely reversed back into the car. Mr. Greg Johnston from Team Greg still wearing teal for Tourette's. Great cause in a battle with Christensen now and Daniel Schultz from Team SRW. I didn't even notice he was out there. Daniel Schultz is predominantly a V8 supercar driver. Is our sponsor brand Dragon RC out here having some fun in the GR86. Bit of a team sandwich. Hopefully the team can carry Christensen back to the front. Doesn't look like he's served too much damage. Or is that front right pretty pushed in? No, his car looks all right.
Looks okay, but I'm sure he's going to be taking his quick repair at the pit stop, as he saw a drive-through penalty for Ryan Price come through for contact on lap 1, so that may have been what he was doing in the pits just before.
Oh, there you go. That's the that was the off track. I think that was due to that slowdown.
Jamie Christensen's moved his way, at least trying to work his way past Daniel Schultz.
So I think this is the incident that has caused that the drive-through. Oh, yep, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Really unfortunate. He didn't really have anywhere to go there, but he has caused contact with another car.
Yeah, a bit of a domino effect as the top 3 are now into the pits, so these fuel tanks top 4, so everybody looking to probably come in this lap. These pit entry is one of the weirder ones. It's just a straight shot past the chicane. You do not brake just straight into the pit lane, so...
Oh, look like there's going to be some fake outs.
Nobody really knows the braking zone, it looks like, for the pit lane. Quite a fast pit lane, this one, about 80 kph. It's a Formula 1 pit lane, so these cars really hoofing it.
No.
That's why.
There is
Steven
a
Sinkovich
safety car.
We have a safety car. Promo department safety car is out on track.
I called
That's why
at
everybody
least
is in
one.
the pits.
There was a car on their roof. Thanks to the promo department and, of course, Tyson McAvoy, our race control this evening. But yes, that is why we need to get a replay of that, definitely.
Yeah, that's an impressive roll. That's a fair way off track as well, it looked like. So, very, very interesting to see how Stevens ended up on his roof there.
See what we can find. On board with Steven now, a little squirrely through there. Oh, that thing fully put itself on two wheels. Okay, so he caught it there. So what's actually happened? No way has he done it. Oh, he's done it trying to get back on track.
Happened?
What has that car done?
Happened? How has that even happened? Can we get a closer look at what's going on with the right-hand side tyres for that to even happen? So he just gassed it up, and as he's come off the curb, it looks like the car's completely compressed. And as he's gassed it, compressed, and given it a whole lot of lock, it's just completely lifted the left-hand side up, and with him still gassing it, and it's just centrifugal force of turning the car, it seemed, just completely span it up.
That doesn't feel like that should happen.
That's my best. Look, probably not, but that's my best guess as to why that's happened. So coming off the curb, gassed it on the grass.
No way that car should have just ended up on its roof.
And yeah, so it just looks like he's compressed it, and the left-hand side's got light.
Gosh.
It's just completely lifted it.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Speed. That has to be the slowest speed roll I think I've ever seen.
I'm going to drag him in here real quick.
And I was just about to do the same thing.
We're going to drag him in. Move to broadcast to. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
How'd you manage that one?
I was doing a Yui, and I think the wheel caught on the ripple strip.
It was after the ripple strip. It was so odd to see.
I don't know. It just felt weird. I think the ripple strip lifted the tyre and hooked it.
It looked like we had to look at it. So when you came off the curb and the car compressed and you're given a whole lot of lock, the whole left side's gone light, and as you're still on the gas, it's completely gassed it up, lifted the car even more, and then just completely rolled it over. I've never seen that happen at that speed.
It was pretty slow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
And I'm in VR, so I was sitting there with the blood rushing to my head.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd you feel with the VR with such a slow rollover?
It was weird, but it was all right. I'm used to it, man, yeah.
Yeah. How's all the boys up in the lounge one going, mate? They all having a cracker so far?
Yeah, they're having a cracker, they're a bit of a chinwag, a bit of a laugh. They're a very serious bunch once the race starts. They all pipe down, and I'm usually the only one talking. But no, it's been good. We had a few late entries. Danny Schultz rocked up just as the gig started, and then also Callum just before it. I think he just came in just as qualies were finishing. So it's a good crowd. It's good fun. Good chinwagon. They're all driving. The majority of them are driving Greg Johnson's setup.
Oh, nice. Oh, Greggy Johnson. Mate, I did just see the promo department car pull away from the field, so I dare say it will be given to Jet O'Murray right now, mate. So I'll send you back to Lounge 1, buddy. Have a good race.
Shall do. Have fun, lads.
Talk to you later. All right, Jet Murray does have control of the field, and he's going to hold them up. Promo department car, a safety car, is now in the pits. It is all on Jet Murray. Coasting. I heard him accelerate. Now he's got the clutch in.
I would say he's absolutely not going to go until after, and I'm talking well after the chicane. The timing line well down the straight, almost near where the pit wall ends. So the timing line, the starters,
He's gone. He's gone.
He has gone. It is caught at least from P3 down completely off guard, it seems, as now everybody scrambles to get themselves ready, and through the chicane they go at a speed they're not really familiar with. Normally they're hoofing it through there. But such a late start, but Jet Murray and Joshua Horton off to an early lead here. Saw a car make the move down the inside. I'm not sure who that was, but great jump from the front too, and then Bruce White following, and then quite the gap back then to John McHenry and the rest of the gang.
I think that's Dan Schultz, Jamie Christensen and John McHenry, one of the cars that you saw heading out to the side. Jason Douglas has also got around Dean Sinkovich. Callan Hodgkinson is side by side with Kevin Wakefield. Not quite side by side. Callan is deep on the brakes there. Really nice move through that corner. Is he going to keep that stick? We've also got Ryan Price coming up behind them as well.
Yeah, he's going to have a great run now down into the chicane. Very, very on the inside. Not a whole lot of overlap. Kevin Wakefield going to be picking up a bit of a toe. And he's gone for a bit of a late dive and kind of caught Kevin Wakefield off guard there. And
that's allowed Jason Douglas to sneak on through.
Yeah, Jason Douglas has just kind of popped out of nowhere there, caught me off guard even. And now he's looking to the outside of Kevin Wakefield, so not a lot of room to operate, but maybe looking for a bit of a switchback. Ryan Price trying to get his nose in to prevent that, but he's going to have a good run now down on Kevin Wakefield all the way down through turn 11 and down into turn 12 and 13, the chicane.
Let this ride out and see what happens. Shows the nose. Up next to him. Is it going to be enough? He's going to be heavier on the brakes. Oh, is that going to be classed as an off track?
It may do. That looks
He's definitely slowing down.
Yeah, it looked like a big cut there, and he's paid the price, unfortunately. He made the move, but at what cost? I'll tell you, it was time.
It was time. As we jump on board for an SRW TV replay, John McHenry winding up. Daniel Schultz hard on the brakes there. Cuts it in really tight to go out wide. Will make that move stick, and he is up 5 spots from qualifying. This is Mr. Consistent of the 86s at the moment. These guys are still going. Wakefield, Douglas, Price, they don't want to stop. Whoa, big slide!
Completely sideways. He's somehow kept that out of the fence and out of other cars, but that's taken him completely out of the battle. Jason Douglas got a great run now on Price, who's kind of just had to check up with the car screaming across his face, and Jason Douglas, who was at the back of all that pack, is absolutely licking his chops at this stage. Picked up a couple of easy positions.
Yeah, Wakefield just heavy on the brakes there. And Jason Douglas is blinking, so we're going to have to jump to another car, otherwise we're not going to see anything. But yeah, unlucky for Kevin Wakefield there, just too heavy on the brakes as he came in, saw the rear end get really unsettled. And then, yeah, as Sheefy, Mr. Tyler Sheaf, one of our co-hosts, has dropped in and said, geez, a bit of Tokyo drifting there. Yeah, I don't think it was intentional though, mate. We have spoken about how loose these rear ends can get in the 86 with no weight over the back of them. Jet O'Murray has stretched his gap out to 2.3 seconds over Joshua Horton and Jamie Christensen. But these two are probably going to have to work side by side as we see Hodgkinson making a move on Greg Johnson side by side down the final straight. 2 separate lines here. Hodgkinson going in tight. Johnson staying out wide. I think Hodgkinson definitely looks to have got a better run off that corner. He's starting to push that gap, so that is another position for Hodgkinson, up 4 spots so far. Oh, is that a slowdown? No, maybe not.
Just maybe got a little bit loose, I think, but just as that was happening, Jamie Christensen absolutely stonking lap of a 53.2, fastest lap of the race so far, albeit did look to be toe assisted. That could have been a slowdown there, but no, he still got his foot to the floor. If that was the slowdown, he's going to want to be serving it. Looking to the outside of Joshua Horton, deep on the brakes. He's going to look for the slingshot around the outside, try to get a better run. Not going to have it. That is straight back into the toe. And now on the run down to turn 12, he's right on the back, only 1/10 behind. Now he's got to pick a side. Which way does he want to go? Inside line has looked to be favourable, but as we saw earlier, taking too much of that entry curve will hurt the car. But I think they're just going to play the team game at this stage, work together and try to close the gap to Jed Murray, it seems.
Definitely going to want to shut down or catch up to Jet O'Murray. Is definitely better off working together at this moment.
So our biggest movers and shakers of the race so far, John McHenry up 5 spots. Normally starts from the back, but half the guys out there didn't get a lap in, so ended up starting in 10th position, not last, up into 5th spot. Kevin Wakefield down 6 spots from the start, so that was him coming absolutely sideways through turn 5 and 6 here. And then through 7, so that cost him a few positions, but still a long way to go in this race, and dare I say we may see another safety car. We'll definitely see another pit stop at least, so still all to play for.
What time did they run that first pit stop? It was like 12 minutes in, wasn't it?
They all pitted on lap 6. So
because
yeah,
the safety car, though. Yeah, that's due to the safety car,
it was
though.
the safety car. Everyone was aisling into the pits. Yeah, lap 6. So not a really good. I'd be getting near the end of their tank. It's quite a small fuel restriction they're running, so it's can't really push it that far. Jason Douglas on the back of Dean Sinkovich looking to make a move and darts the inside, has a look but is nowhere near close enough to get it up the inside. Now looks to get a great exit for the run down through 11 and into 12 and 13 at the end of the straight here. Such a long straight, the casino straight, and these cars so drag heavy, punching a massive hole. Dean is for Jason Douglas, so he's going to look to the inside. Now we did see him just backs out of it. I'm
into
not
the pits.
Sure. Pit lane. See, that's the danger with running in the toe, is if you need to go into the pit lane, such a straight shot from the corner, it looks like you've missed your braking zone. And if the cars are braking for the corner, it has seen in the past with cars to go into the back of cars that are taking the racing line. So just one of those pit entries, quite similar to Oran Park in that sense. Cars are going to be braking on the racing line to a bit of the inverse even. Cars braking on the racing line to get into pit lane, but those who are continuing on at full pace. Bit of a... Joshua Horton leaves us for a brief moment.
I think Christensen may have just copped himself another slowdown as Horton went screaming past.
Yeah, he seems to be the collector of 1Xs tonight.
This shows how hard he wants to push these track limits, though. And I think sometimes it's worth copping a couple of 1Xs to sort of find where your limit is. I know that's what practice is for, but doing it during a race can also be beneficial to really get your edge in. Because practice, you know, you sort of, I don't feel you're under as much stress or pressure. You know, you're just out there running your practice laps. Where it comes to a race, it's completely different. Oh my gosh, how close is he getting over those curbs? He's definitely pushing the limits of this track.
All the while, Joshua Horton really closing the gap to Jedi Murray. Their last lap, 55.4 for Jedi Murray and a 54.7 for Joshua Horton. So,
Christensen's
talk
going to pit.
about.
I just heard him clutch fuel saving.
So, 13 laps into the race now. It started our 13th lap, so hitting at lap 6. That's 1 lap past the window. Maybe he's just trying to get 1 more lap out of the tank. Although we haven't seen anybody come into the pits yet for this stop, so maybe it's just 1 more stop, and if you keep saving some fuel, you'll be able to cut out a splash and dash at the end. It's quite a long pit lane, but still quite a fast one, so not the longest we've seen. That will most certainly be going to Spa at the end of the year, or the end of the season rather. Jamie Christensen 1.3 behind Joshua Horton at this stage, definitely going to be looking to close the gap, and it is closing. These cars will pick up a bit of a tow from this far away. It won't be as strong as from within 7/10, but 1 second you will feel the effects, and you will see it on the Delta a bit as you see 9/10 now the gap from Christensen back to Horton, and just slowly coming down as it gets stronger and stronger, getting closer and closer. So yeah, all the way down to 7/10 now, well and truly in the tow range. He's brought it back in.
Jet O'Murray stretch that gap out to 3.10 seconds. There's a fair bit of time to try and gain, especially when Jet Christensen did a 153 last lap. So he's definitely tried to push that pace.
Was that Christensen's best lap you're looking at?
Oh yeah, he did a 154.84. Sorry, he's still on the pace.
Still
compared
he is
to
still
the
a second
other two.
faster than Joshua Horton than last lap, but much better last lap from Jedi Murray. Yeah, low 155 there, about 6 cents faster than last lap, so he picked up the pace a little bit. But these chicanes are such a variables with these cars. It can be really easy to, get a bit later on the throttle, lose 2/10, and the straights following them are such long runs as well, so a lot of time to be gained there and lost.
You see Ryan Price in the teal and pink donut mobile chasing down Greg Johnston from Team Greg Racing. Here in his wearing teal for Tourette's. Oh, a little mistake. That's going to allow Johnston to pull away. And that's also going to bring Dean Sinkovic right onto the back of him really quickly.
Yeah, we've done a great job there to keep it out of the wall, but Dean Sinkovic now is definitely going to look for a move, I think, down into the hairpin. No, just thinks better of it to tuck into the racing line, because you got a decent opportunity now on the exit of turn 10 to get well and truly alongside before turn 12 and 13. So he looks to have got a pretty good exit. The car didn't look to really complain at all. He got on the power well and truly within the slipstream now, and just seems to be backing off a little bit. 4/10 the gap, just shows the nose. Maybe just throw him off a little bit, see what happens, but all over the curb there. And Ryan Price again, maybe another slowdown, or just a slow run out of the quarter, and definitely not a slowdown. He's not let off at all. Dean Sinkovic now down the inside. Looks to have got it done, and Ryan Price is gonna have a look down on the switchback. He's gotten on the power very, very well there and powered out of the corner, although that may be a Sinkovic slowdown. 8/10 the gap now, dare I say, unless he got very, very loose on exit. That looks to be a big chunk of time lost on acceleration. So Not really too sure what happened there. Would it be a strange spot to get a slowdown? Yeah, so if he did get one, he served that rather quickly and back into 1 second the gap. So that may have not been the case. The gap now back down to 6/10. So on the charge again, may have just grabbed a bit of grass in the exit of 2. Dare I say, prevented him from getting on power. Jamie Christensen now on the back of Horton again, but I don't believe these two would fight each other. I think they're just more worried about closing that 2.6 second gap to Jedi Murray ahead and having a bit of a three-way battle for the lead. Still half an hour to go, so a long way left in this one. Still pit stops to take place and strategies to play, and we saw Christensen saving earlier.
Jason Douglas drop into the stream to say, "Go Jet." Oh no, is he out of the race? I think he actually has retired. As we see Dean and Kevin come into the pits. There's definitely still some fuel saving going on. I think you could be right about them trying to just stretch their fuel out as long as I can. Slow down penalty for car 024 on lap 16. So Dean Sinkovic did actually cop a slowdown. So it didn't seem to be much that it affected him because he was able to get up and rolling again really quick. And he's yeah. But yes, he did serve a slowdown penalty. Ryan Price now going at it with Greg Johnston, trying to look for the move. Oh, see how just high there. The wheels get off the track.
I can still see OBS. We are still going. Ryan Price having got a good run out of 10 and side by side with Greg Johnson. We've seen cars side by side all night on the run down to the chicane. Greg Johnson just easing off. Just a lot of time to be lost through there, and there we go, some cars jumping into the pits now. So right on the edge of the fuel limit, some people pushing on if they've got a bit of fuel in hand. Jedi Murray, Joshua Horton, 2 of those. Jamie Christensen was in the pits, now out 26 seconds off the back of Horton and Murray. So see how quick he got into the pit lane and how fast he got into his box to hit that braking marker into the box and into the pit lane. And it's all about the outlap. The gap was only about 2 seconds to Murray before Joshua Horton seems to have dropped off the back now. 4 seconds the gap. Callan Hodgkinson coming out of the pits now, only 7/10 off the back of Schultz as well. So few things happening, but one we're looking at is Murray and Horton and Christensen, who is 30 seconds back on Horton but just stopped. So it's going to be about Horton's in lap, Murray's in lap, and Jamie's out lap. So Jamie wouldn't have changed tyres, just taken the fuel. These guys on low fuel, so in theory they're going to be doing the faster times, but it's all about the entry. It's if you can hit this braking zone right. Murray's still pushing on, so he's worked some voodoo with the fuel tank, it seems, and they've still got a bit of fuel in there. So when he was out to that lead, he must have been saving quite heavily, clutching into the braking zones, and really while he had that gap, just trying to maintain about that 2.5 second gap. If you've got a bit of pace in hand, you might as well use that pace to give yourself a more favourable strategy. So Horton in the pit lane. Jamie Christensen coming down into turn 1. Looks like he's gonna easily jump Horton. Horton's only exiting the pit lane now, so that's quite a big jump there. 8 seconds or more the gap. Not sure how that's ended up being such a big jump. That's quite mammoth here. That's Horton took tires maybe. I'm not too sure how that's such a big gap after 1 lap. The pit stop, yeah, so Horton was in the box for 15.6 seconds, Christensen only 13.6, so that's still 2 seconds quicker in the box, but that's still 6 seconds have come and gone missing somehow. I don't believe Christensen would have been lapping that much faster per lap unless Horton maybe got to slow down. Jedi Murray, as we saw, just come into the box now, so 13.6 seconds the time in the pit stop for Jamie Christensen. We'll see how that compares to Jet O'Murray, who's stopped now. As we see Christensen coming around out of the final turn and on the run down. 14.05 stop for Jet O'Murray and back on the power. It's gonna be, he's definitely underway, and yeah, he's got out well and truly in front there of Jamie Christensen, so that overcut looks to be working in troves for those who are using it. Jamie Christensen, 6 second gap now to Jet O'Murray on the warm tyres. Jets will still be quite warm, but Jamie's will still have all the heat in them. So with 20 minutes to go, fuel tank, they got about 10, 11 laps. Jet Murray got 12 laps off his last tank. So, not even 13 laps. That'll take him right to the end. I would say that's pit stops done for all parties at this stage. Closest battle on track at this stage, Callan Hodgkinson 5-6 tenths back off the back of Daniel Schultz. So that gap from Jamie and Jet as well, just kind of holding steady at 6.5 seconds. So Jet, with his fuel saving done, went 2 laps longer, is definitely going to have more fuel in hand to be able to push the car a lot harder than Jamie can. If he's got a fuel save at all, Jamie, that's really going to hamper his lap times. And of course, we've seen him pick up some slowdown penalties as well tonight. Of course, Jet isn't immune to those, but he's been generally pretty good so far and built himself quite the handy lead. Looking backwards, John McHenry, the collector of fourths himself, sitting in his position. We may call this the John McHenry 4th place. Big slide there into turn 1, just all over the shop with under the brakes, but good job to keep the rear in check. All parties will be suffering from a little bit of tyre deck right now, but the Continentals on these cars pretty good. The Continental slicks, they got a bit of life in them, and this car's not particularly powerful, and it generally pretty gentle on him. You really got to be sliding all over the place to really start to abuse him. These cars only producing 174 kilowatts of power and 250 newton meters of torque. So not a whole lot from these. The little 4-cylinder that could, but God, they're pretty lightweight, only 1,200 kilograms. They're completely stripped out. Do look like the road car. I'm sure everybody's seen an 86 out there on the road, and it's a whole heap of fun to drive.
You're talking about the Subaru BRZ, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Subaru Series.
I got a mate. We went car shopping. He ended up getting a Subaru BRZ, which I had nothing against. But it's really funny. For about 2 years, he took so much offense every time I asked him, "How's your 86 going?" Like, he got so mad. I just found it so damn funny.
One of my basketball teammates, he drives an 86, an orange one. And every time he pulls up to the basketball game, I always see him, and I'd look at his car, and I'm just like, you wouldn't understand. I've not said anything, and I don't think I ever will, but I just smile every time I see it.
Right, orange. No thanks. Someone was trying to convince me when I bought my XR5 Turbo to get the sunburnt orange, and I was like, no. No, thank you.
Ghetto Murray asking for an interview mid-race. I've just seen it in YouTube chat.
Go for it. If you want to drag him in, he's all yours.
He's in the green room. What's he doing?
Get on board with him and you can have a chat with him while he drives
Hey,
around.
mate.
G'day.
How you doing?
Oh, alright.
How's the wind? How's the weather out there?
I think it's a bit late afternoon or early. I think it's late afternoon out here.
Yeah, it's getting a bit romantic out there with the sun.
Sunrise is pretty nice.
Mate, good job on your pit stops. You must have been saving a bit of fuel in the lead.
Yeah,
I've been the extra 2 laps out of that.
Yeah, I've been saving heaps, trying to only did that 2-stop strategy where I think the rest of the boys will probably have to do the 3-stop.
Yeah, we saw Jamie behind you saving a bit as well. I was wondering, you were doing the 155 lap timers. I was thinking that's quite slow, but the gap was around about the same. So I guess you were just kind of maintaining that anywhere from 4 to 2.5 second gap, kind of just fuel saving and kind of keep that distance and get that extra 2 laps. And I mean, you've landed 7 seconds in the lead now with plenty of fuel to spare, I'd imagine, and it's all go to the end, provided no late safety cars.
Well, I think I still have to save due to our roll-around lap, but I think Jamie's trying to go on that 2-stop strategy as well, but he will be pretty. I'm looking at my timing now. If he pits, yeah, he'll be pretty vulnerable to John. Even Bruce, he'll be vulnerable too. So I think he's better off probably saving as much as he can.
Yeah, we saw him saving a bit in the earlier stints, but he still only came in on lap 17 via his stop, and Horton came in lap 18, you 19, so you were the latest of all the drivers to come in for their pit stops. The majority of the drivers getting in on lap 17. It was just yourself. Yeah, you were the only driver to come in on lap 19 for the fuel stop. So you've easily got that upper hand on the fuel strategy, plus your 7-second lead, mate. All you got to do is bring your home at this stage, it would seem.
Yeah. As well with the fuel strategy, it's just, I guess as you said, pretty much saving most of the time, but saving since lap 1, I think, was the key towards the other people.
Picked up any off tracks at all, or
give me
any
a sec.
slowdown?
No slowdowns, and 4X.
4X, yeah.
Four-X.
The slowdowns look to be particularly violent around here, especially through dare I say, yeah, turns 8 and 9 that chicane before they head in. So
Yeah, and it's
those would be
also
really bad.
yeah, it's also the worst when you're also trying to catch. Say, for instance, Jamie had a pretty unfortunate incident. It's pretty hard for him to try catch as well, trying to get past people, not being able to see the other apexes and just jumping the curbs by accident.
Yeah, driving a GT3 around here, it's quite the same. I mean, when you're following, as I'm sure you know, it's very hard to see, and especially with how the off tracks are at this particular circuit.
Yeah,
So, I mean, to me, it's like up in the 2 seconds, some of the slowdowns you can get, it's far too much.
yeah,
Like, for what it is. So it's very keeping those clean, which you have, has been, I mean, paid dividends.
yeah, most definitely.
That is one of the places to let blue flags through, but good job. As we saw that on broadcast, but good job, mate. 10 more minutes to go, just about, and
Yep,
if all goes well, we'll see you in the green room in about 10 minutes from now.
hope so.
Mate, enjoy the rest of the race.
Thank you. See yous.
Well, that was a new one. Grab
Don't mind
someone
the
mid-race.
Yeah, don't mind the drivers if they got time and they want to come down and have a chat. All they got to do is let us know. We can drag you down. That goes to any of the series. If there's time to have a chat with drivers, it's always good to get a bit of insight on what's actually happening on track and how they feel the track is progressing over the day.
He is not only jumps into the green room while behind the wheel, but also typed in YouTube and chat in green room with 3 E's if you want to talk. So that's multitasking.
Look, skillful drivers can drive with one hand, mate.
Dare I say, is some push-pull paddles.
Oh, no. John McHenry's had a spin in 5th place. Has he done that himself? Oh, he's copped too much curb. Has he copped too much curb? Yeah, there it is. Same spot
Just
where
lifted
Sinkovic went around as well. Except he didn't end up on his roof.
He's done very good to get that around the right way again.
Fortunately, he
Quite
did
quickly.
let Bruce White get around him. Still up 5 spots, though. Dean Sinkovic, what a drive. Up 7 spots at the moment. Sitting in 6th place, just behind John McHenry. Not too shabby.
Right. The tortoise in the hare, but as we got the insight from Jedamo before, a lot of these drivers, if they've not been fuel saving, it's going to be pretty tight, as we've seen Schultz, Hodgkinson, Kevin Wakefield all into the pits while we've been talking with Jet to pick up that last little bit of fuel to take them to the end. So dare I say, Dean as well is going to have to jump into the pits, him coming in on lap 16. That's a long, long way to go on fuel. Jet coming in on lap 19 was saying he's going to struggle, so I would say that's almost a guaranteed stop there. But up 7 spots, that's a great drive. He's just kept it. He's kept his nose clean, kept his feet dry, and you know, up 7 spots into P6. It'll be a good bag of points.
Kept his feet dry. It's not raining, mate. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
There's plenty of water around.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, this track is on the island, as we were talking about at the beginning. So, John McHenry, Bruce White now in the pits as well. Any word on when weather is going to come to iRacing? Anybody got any tips? Any behind the scenes information?
It should be Season 4 at the earliest, Season 1, 2024 at the latest, it would seem. It's not
Okay.
going to be next season,
Nah.
but I'm optimistic. Sorry, I'm pretty pessimistic for Season 4. Season 1, 2020. Oh, as Dean just gets a bit wobbly and then goes around on the entry to 2 there.
He's got plenty enough time to get around before Ryan Price catches him, though.
Yeah, he most certainly does, but it's given a bit of a buffer, another one of those, and Ryan Price is going to be right on the back of him. But back to that rain conversation, it should, if I was best guesses, I would say Season 1 2024, and they're going to start off the year with, you know, one of the most probably anticipated things in pretty much ever in this game. Well, sim. I get in trouble if I say game.
I was going to say, you call it a game again. That's it, you're off the team.
I get in trouble. I get in trouble. People don't like it.
You get 3 warnings. You just get removed. That's it. Never to be heard of again. You'll have to shut down AVR and everything.
Oh, mate. I can almost run it without even touching it at this stage.
All you drivers do the work for you.
Yeah, mate.
That's how it should be.
iRacing is a subscription-based online simulation video game.
Yeah.
Come on. That's Wikipedia, mate.
It is a game.
Wikipedia never lies.
Yeah, it's a game you play on your computer as a simulation.
It's a simulation video game, we'll call it. So I'm not wrong, but I'm not right.
Yeah, that's right. There's even flight sims are a game you play on the computer.
Yeah,
it's like a first-person shooter is a game you play on the computer, but people call it a first-person shooter, not a game.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely calling Call of Duty a game. Not calling Call of Duty a military sim, you know?
No, it's definitely not. Rainbow Six Siege is probably more of a military sim. Let me get onto that. We're supposed to be talking about cars. They're really stretched out at the moment. Jeff's just proven again to come out here and blistering laps, hold the lead, stay really consistent from the beginning. Christensen has got up into 2nd place, which is great to see. I think that will be his best placing at this moment for the season.
He won last week.
He won the feature. He didn't win the overall round. No, he won the sprint.
No.
Yeah, he didn't win the round because it was a sprint round.
No, that's true.
He is still looking for his first round win.
So, smallest gap on track, is 4 seconds, the gap between Price and Schultz. So, who was that just screamed around the outside? But Jamie Christensen, I guess, another slowdown penalty would be my guess. I mean, the gap was 19 seconds, now it's 21 seconds to Jet O'Murray, so Jet O'Murray definitely put the hammer down, but at the same time, Jamie Christensen's not helped it with the slowdowns. Maybe Jamie's just heavy fuel saving at this stage. So
have a listen.
I can't hear. You'll have to tell me.
Clutch. He was heavy on the clutch then.
Yeah, alright. You'll have to tell me. ABS doesn't give me the audio.
Yep, on the clutch. He's been on the clutch for about 5 seconds. Yeah, he's heavy fuel saving at this moment.
So he's definitely consolidated to P2, and he's just focusing on trying to stretch this tank as long as it can go. Only 4 minutes and change left in this race, and it's gonna be, where's Jenna Murray's 23 seconds off the road, so about 3 laps left in the race. It'll be 3 laps left in the race. So Ryan Price into the pits and just exiting it now, coming out.
Huge fuel saving. Huge fuel saving.
Yeah. So, look, 23 seconds from the back of Jet. Obviously, this time left in the race, he's got, barring absolute catastrophe for Jet, is gonna be P2. 10 seconds back to Horton, so gap both ways. Horton, it seems, hasn't been gaining, if not, the gap's been getting bigger with Jamie fuel saving, so Horton getting a lap after Jamie, so we'll have a little bit more fuel in hand, but not a whole lot more. Both these parties just trying to get to the end. However, Bruce White was pitted on lap 25, is only 5 seconds off the back of Joshua Horton. So he has the fuel to push as hard as he can. Whereas Joshua Horton, as we've seen, and Jamie have just been clutch in for multiple seconds. As I thought that was Christensen off, it scared me a little bit there.
Oh, Mr. Stevens,
It was, so.
Sinkovic.
So that gap's still at 5 seconds to Horton, and it is closing, as you can see. It's down to 4.3 now. So this is definitely surging here. And the gap is getting smaller. There's still going to be 2 more laps after this one for Joshua Horton. Now, you do got to have the fuel to get back around into the pit lane. Otherwise, you will be getting a rear grid penalty for the next round. Now, I'm sure Joshua Horton in this position is going to be focused on, all right, I got to secure this P3. Like, any driver out there is not going to be very focused on the next round. You got to focus on the here and the now. You can't focus on the what's to come. Yeah, 4.8 seconds, so 4/10 stretch back out. So see what it's like at the end of the straight. That'll be the biggest indication of how hard Josh here is fuel saving. We know Bruce White isn't. He did stop, as we said, lap 25. John McHenry behind him also stopped lap 25. So the only saving grace for Josh is he stopped a lap later than Jamie did on lap 18. So it's a 4 seconds a gap now. So you can see every big braking zone, this gap is shrinking and shrinking down to about 4 seconds a gap now. Yeah, as we said, just drop back down to under 3, but up again. So
Matt Christensen drops in and says, fuel saving racing is boring. Let them fang it.
it is who?
There's Sinkovic again.
That was Sinkovic around. Oh,
AKA
these SRW
Spinovich.
cars around.
It's
These
just
SRW cars
Steven.
around freak me out sometimes.
Yeah, it's just Steven.
Think something's happening.
Poor lad being the owner of SRW. Doesn't get much time to practice himself while he's working on everything in the background with the team. So good to see him getting out there and still having some fun though, and that's all that really matters.
As we said, yeah, Jamie Christensen, the gap between Christensen and Horton was 10 seconds. It's now 3 and shrinking quickly. So Jamie Christensen on an absolute mammoth fuel save right now. And Joshua Horton must have saved the appropriate amount of fuel, because that gap to Bruce White now back up to 5.2 seconds and climbing out even further.
Oh, this is the checkered flag. Bloody missed that. Jet O'Murray will come across as your round 6 winner. Jamie Christensen is going to... I didn't see Barney doing his job.
Alright, so that Christensen will be absolutely blessed to see the flag. Although the gap down to 1.3 seconds. So it's just, yeah, he's not going to be close enough. It's going to come across the line and he's just going to get the checkered flag. Just what he likes to see, coming across the line. P2 then. Wow, does he? I've commentators no. He does not.
What did you do?
P2. Horton has crossed the line in P2. It seems Christensen may have just ran out of fuel there right at the end.
He's trying to wiggle his car to keep it moving.
Yeah, he's just completely ran out of fuel.
Out of fuel. Unlucky Jamie. What a drive though to be that close on fuel.
Thought he was going to have
my
the
gosh.
drive at the end there to get around and power out, but gee. Maybe he's also trying to save to get back to the pits. I mean, P1 in the championship, you can't really afford a rear grid start, but P3 at the gap ended up being 1.1 seconds, so there was really, really nothing left in the tank there for Christensen. But congratulations to Jetta Murray taking out your Cammus GR86 Series round win here for round 7, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Round 6.
Round 6. I'm always wrong with the rounds.
Yeah, round 6 for Warren and Brown Tools. Thank you very much for everybody for joining us tonight. I forgot to introduce us at the beginning, but yes, you all know who we are. We don't need to introduce ourselves. But yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, started off really quite aggressive race with everybody sort of being close to each other. After that second pit stop, though, the whole field just split apart. Was there about 3 or 4 different actual pit stop strategies run tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely a fuel-conscious race from the very start. I mean, that safety car that came out on lap 6 really shook it up. Kind of threw people off the strategy that they weren't really looking to get on. But our round results tonight, Jetta Murray taking out the win by over 35 seconds. So an absolute mammoth win there and a great strategy for Jet, absolutely paying off. Joshua Horton crossing the line in P2 with a 1 second gap back to Christensen in P3. Saw that battle at the end. Bruce White in P4. John McHenry didn't get his P4, but he got his P5. Mr. Consistent himself. What? Daniel Schultz across the line in... What's what?
Oh, John McHenry in 5th. I just, even though he didn't get his P4, he's been sitting around P4-5 all season, and we've seen where he is on the leaderboard. That's just going to keep him there.
Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, 150, 147. Yeah, like he's still getting 143 points. Am I right there? No.
I can tell you.
Yeah, go on.
I've got it. What is he, P5?
Yeah, it's 150 for the win.
130.
130 points. See, that's still keeping him in the fight for the championship. Oh, man.
Another very consistent result for John McHenry. Just absolute collector of the 4th and 5ths this year. Daniel Schultz, as we said, P6. Callan Hodgkinson crossing the line in P7. P8 for Dean. Great run there. We saw a spin in the closing stages, but up quite a few spots for the finish. He was up, Dean, 5 spots. So he was the second biggest mover tonight, jumping up. Brian Price, P9. Kevin Wakefield, P10. Greg Johnson, P11. Stephen, 2 laps down in P12. And Jason Douglas, DNF'd in P13. Our race control tonight, Tyson McAvoy. Oh, what'd you think of that one?
That was actually a burnout. I give him that. He had to do the flick and spin. It wasn't a starting burnout, but I give that burnout about a 6.5 because the 86s suck up regardless.
Yeah, they didn't really burn out. Do you have a pick for driver of the day?
Oh, mate, I honestly, I just want to give it to McHenry.
Can I give an alternative option?
Yeah, go for it.
Look, he won the round, but, 35-second win.
Yeah, deal.
Jet, he was fuel conscious from the very, very start as he gives Horton a bit of a push. As we're saying, get him going.
Right, we also do have them all in the green room, which means we can kick off our interviews before it gets any later tonight. We will jump straight into P3, and that being unfortunately right at the end. Mr. Jamie Christensen did just lose out because of running out of fuel. Get him in for you now.
I got him.
Hello?
Hello.
Jamie. Hey, mate.
Hello.
How much fuel did you have at the end?
0, obviously.
0. It was 0 at the end. It was, just... I thought there was one more lap. I thought you were done for, but, P3 with 0 litres of fuel left, I'm sure you're at least happy to grab that.
It was kind of annoying because I watched him go past me 3 meters before the line.
Yeah, that's a bit of a desperate feel. Not desperate. Yeah, we'll go with desperate feeling.
Yeah.
Just.
They're currently showing off their fuel by revving their cars right next to me.
Did they go back around the track and park next to you?
Yeah.
Because we saw where you parked yourself, mate. I thought you might have had enough to roll through, or someone was giving you a push to the end of the line. We jumped to you, and no, there you are sitting. So the other boys drove back around the track to just say, hey, look how much fuel we've got.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what happened.
It's good to see a bit of banter with the cars in there, mate. Other than your fuel running out at the end there, how'd you feel the rest of the race went?
I mean, it wasn't chaotic. It was all pretty smooth. I had a few slowdowns, which if I didn't get that, I'd probably be in second right now. So, other than that, it was pretty fine.
So what happened there on lap 1 down at turn 10 of the hairpin?
The hairpin.
Was that not you caught up in the incident at on lap 1 even?
Oh yeah.
Not turn 1. I think I said turn 1. Lap 1.
The hairpin, right?
Yeah, turn 10.
Yeah. So me and Josh both got a slowdown, and he decided to get reduced slowdown right before the corner, and I got rid of mine before that. But I went on the outside of him, and someone else went on the other side of him, and out of nowhere there comes a car flying through, and I got hit in the side. But the car was fine, and everything was fine.
Yeah, I think it was Ryan Price, I want to say, from the incident, but both of you just getting the slowdown penalties. It just seemed to, I don't think the other guys were really expecting it. It just checked it up, and it was just a bit of a domino effect from that on out. So it was a bit of an unfortunate one. And then from then on, as you said, with the slowdowns, it just seemed to unravel a bit.
Yeah, I think I got like 4 or 5 slowdowns.
Yeah, they were pretty hefty, no? They were like above 2 seconds, or?
Every single slowdown I got was 2.5 seconds or more.
Yeah, that's excessive.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you live and you learn, I guess. Did you wanna shout out your sponsors for tonight?
Yeah, I would. Alright, thank you for simrigs.com, Racecraft, Toyo Sim, Warren and Brown Tools, Grim Industries, Promo Department, Dragon RC, Tempting Sweets, and Rocket Unlimited for sponsoring SRW.
Good job, mate.
Thanks, mate.
That was great.
Well,
Yeah.
all in all, congratulations on P3. You're still P1 in the championship, and the gap is a bit smaller, but not too much smaller, so still got a good buffer there.
Oh, I don't think I'm P1 in the championship. I think Jet is.
No, you're P1.
Yeah, it's a round 5.
That's a drop round, isn't it?
As standings right now, mate,
true.
you are leading as standings are right now.
Yeah,
but
true. Including the drop round, I'm not sure. We'll have to take that into account.
Yeah,
because Jet left for a whole week. Or
yes,
something like
he
that.
did. He missed a round, so
it may be tight, but yeah, with the drop round, I'm not entirely sure. Then,
I think he's got me.
well, hopefully we can look into that one for next round and get that one up to date.
Alright.
All right, mate. Congrats, mate. We'll see you next week.
Alright, see ya.
that was P3 Jamie Christensen for Team SRW Motorsports. Great drive from him again this seasoning. I've said that twice tonight. I must be hungry or want some seasoning. Yeah, this seasoning. Must need some seasoned chicken or something. As we move on to P2, Joshua Horton, who just did tip out Jamie Christensen right at the line due to loss of fuel for Christensen. Let's get him in.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, mate. Did you
How are we?
Did you expect a P2 finish there? Or did you know Jamie was running out of fuel?
Yeah, we are. I know how Jamie UX, that man likes to push. So I just assumed that if I saved at the start of the race, it would pay off at the end, and damn right it did. I had lost 0.05 of a litre, and I decided on the last lap to just push, and I caught up to him and got him on the last straight, but it worked pretty well.
Yeah, at first I thought he was giving you the through, but then when I saw him wiggling his car, we were both like, oh no, he's out of fuel.
Yeah. So Jamie had decided that he was going to continue to push until like the last 5 laps, when he then realized he had to save an entire lap of fuel to make it to the end.
Oh.
Just in front of us. So he was saving, I think. So usually around here we're doing like 1.9 liters a lap, and I think he was using like closer to 1 liter a lap. So he had halved it. It was ridiculous.
So he was extremely close to taking that second place. Ah, crazy.
Super close, and then he didn't even make it back around.
And then you guys decided to stop and rev up the car just to make sure that he knew that you guys had fuel still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried. I didn't get very far. I sort of pulled up in the car. No. It just died.
Well, mate, other than, your sneaky little P2 position, how you feel the rest of the race went?
It's a pretty crazy race, actually. I think it was good that we had to fight a lot more for strategy when to pit, because it brings us all sort of closer in that it's not just a straight dash. And so it was actually really hard to get fuel through to the end, like we did. But then you can see the gap is like humongous from Jamie back. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I loved it was almost a 3-stop, but we managed to pull it through.
We saw a couple of different pit stop strategies across the field, like about 3-4 different strategies, people pitting at different times. Did that initial safety car, you think that threw off any of the field?
Yeah, I think we pitted a lap too early, actually, because we could have come in 1 lap later and then had that +1 at the end. But we decided to throw it in to try and see if we could still make it, because we would have an advantage with open track. But everybody else decided to pit as well, so it didn't really do much.
Yeah, everybody flowed in, like the whole field, which is sort of surprising. And then each stop afterwards, there was sort of 2 to 3 laps between everybody pit stopping. So it's interesting to see that. I do like seeing a bit of a change up between the field instead of the whole field coming in at once, mate. But congratulations on your P2 finish tonight. Mate, you got any sponsors? Actually, Ryan, you got any questions you want to ask?
No, mate.
No, you good?
I'm
All right,
all good, mate. You covered all bases.
Oh, sweet. Good on me. All right, Josh, you got any sponsors you want to shout out, mate? Or any of your family members that help keep you on track and support you through it?
Unfortunately, at the moment, I got any sponsors, as we've seen on our rock Boogie Bomb. So,
shout out
Boogie Bomb, made by Joshua Horton himself in MS Paint, by the way. I don't know if we covered that in the last ones.
What a legend.
I think we did. I mean, it's evident. It is evident. It's an evident MS Paint job.
I made one for V8 Supercar, actually, and I think it looks worse, per se.
No, how can it?
Yeah, I don't know how you can make
a little bit
worse,
more like
mate.
a clown. Don't be shaming on Boogie Bomb like that. Yeah, but I guess Boogie Bomb, shout out to my parents for giving internet and food to keep me alive, you know. Gotta race somehow. And a little shout out to VR Motorsports down here in Brisbane, who are helping me get a lot faster in the sim. I go there, they they have a place where you can go and drive virtual cars in like a big hydraulic rig. Really fun, really good.
Oh, that's in Tingalpa, isn't it?
That is. Have you been there, ShiBBy?
Mate, I live in Brisbane myself, so I know of like a lot of these places. So they got a bar in there as well, which is freaking awesome. So
yeah, it means people like me can't just walk in. I have to bring a parent.
yes, you do. But yeah, if you're over the age of 18 and want to go check out some awesome motion sims, have a few beers, have a bit of fun, watch some racing on a big screen, definitely head on down to VR Motorsports, because they have a wicked setup there.
They do. I'm actually going this weekend.
Oh, nice,
That'll be
mate.
fun.
I've got a birthday treat with my wife, so we might have to organise some time to get there and get some of the Brizzy crew there and get some racing happening.
That would be baller. Well, thank you for keeping the Sims SOW up. We appreciate it a lot. It's really fun.
No problems, mate. We're glad that everybody enjoys their time out on the track, mate. Go and celebrate or get some rest, whatever you want to do, buddy. And we look forward to seeing you back on track next week.
Thank you. See you guys.
See you, mate.
Yeah, mate.
That was Joshua Horton, a privateer in the SRW League. And we will now move on to P1. I'm sure everybody knows this name as he is becoming quite a thing here on SRW TV. P1 tonight will go to Jet O'Murray from the LMR Esports team.
Hello.
What an entry,
Hello.
Jet. Hello, mate.
Hey, don't sound so
Yeah,
excited.
don't sound too excited. Is the competition not hard enough for you, mate?
Oh, I think I have to be quiet. Don't want to wake anyone up.
Oh, fair call.
Mate, no
Fair
shoeies tonight.
Well, we've already spoken to you once during the race while you were typing in chat as well at the same time. Mate, you pretty much just cleaned that up with the pit stop strategy, didn't you? That's what it came down to.
As I guess it always happens to be with the 86, the fuel saving is really important. So, if Jamie and Josh maybe would have seen that fuel saving that was going on, they would have probably been on the same path as me with maybe a win or maybe a second. But that's why it's important to fuel save while keeping up your pace, so you don't give away any hints.
Well, Jamie was saying he actually lost a lot of time and lost a lot of the fuel saving he was doing because of slowdowns he copped a couple of times.
Yeah, as we were talking about before, the slowdowns are really crap around here. Like, especially when you're following, as I said before, when Jamie had a couple of incidents, he was following people to try to get back past, and I guess that's how he copped his slowdowns.
Yeah, mate, he was definitely pushing it pretty hard, but you had solid, consistent race. The fuel saving worked extremely well for you. Here you are on the podium again. I think once the rounds are updated, that is going to bump you up into P1 on the standings, mate. Congratulations with a solid drive tonight. And of course, the microphone is all over to you to shout out everybody that keeps you driving.
You know what? I still don't know them without reading them, so I think I need to work on that.
Isn't it your team?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Can I ask before you start reading them, what does LMR stand for?
That's a good question.
Me and Matthew and a couple other mates were like, we always used to join races without doing any practice, and it kind of shows in this series we do it without any practice. So it stands for, I guess,
racing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, that's good to know that, because we always just call it LMR Esports, so it is Last Minute Racing Esports.
Yeah.
Nice, mate. Well, get your little notebook out. Spruik your sponsors.
Alright, firstly we got our big Lodge Brothers. We got W, we got NZ Performance, Wayne Boylet Mechanical, Lutsu Driver Performance, OCAMS Photography, Majors Garage, me for doing the paints, I don't know why that's on there, and everyone at Alamar.
Shout out you.
Yeah, shout out you,
Yeah.
Jet. Yeah, bloody oath,
Yeah.
mate. This is your team. You deserve a bit of a shout out. I think you need to definitely get your team to shout you out a bit more.
Oh, I reckon I get shouted out and helped enough.
I don't think so. We're changing this. Every time an LMR esports driver is in, I'm going to make sure they're shouting you out, mate, because solid job. Not easy as a young driver, but also running your own team at such a young age, mate. So, mate, huge congratulations again for another podium here, mate. And when will we see you in the car next? Are you jumping in for the GT3s, or you got something else on?
I don't even know where they are, but probably. I don't see why I wouldn't, but
I can do
the week after, I won't be able to do the GT3s, but I will definitely be able to do the 86s, so.
You're loving the 86s, aren't you?
So we're at Osher sleeping tomorrow.
Oh.
Red where?
Oschersleben.
Oschersleben. I'm glad I didn't have to pronounce that one. Good luck tomorrow, Hamish, with that one. You couldn't do it.
It's not that hard, mate. I want you to try it right now.
Oschersleben.
There you go. That wasn't hard, was it?
Wait,
What's
the actual name? There's an actual name for it.
Is it not Oschersleben?
OSC
HER.
Motorsport Arena.
Is it what? Is it just what?
Oschersleben Grand Prix.
Yeah. Motorsport Arena Oschersleben.
Anyway, it's definitely a German track.
Yeah,
Is it
sounds
German?
like it.
Oh, it
No,
sounds
it's like
like...
I think it's Norway.
And I definitely can't wait to get this new track coming in. That's coming in soon, I'm pretty sure.
Willow Springs.
Pardon?
Right. Was it the new track Willow Springs that you were talking about? Or?
It's called Aragon. It's a really good track.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Hopefully
Yeah,
we
mate,
can
that is a good
series
track.
there. Yeah. And hopefully next week I'm gonna try and get everyone I know into this series. We're gonna have 30 drivers.
Mate,
For the
I hope
86.
so. Where are we next week, speaking of which? We are at VIR North. So free track. It's not even like anybody free track, free car,
Yep,
mate.
free track,
Absolutely
free
no
car.
excuse.
GR86s are open. Get
Exactly.
in here, come have a
Everyone join
race. Yeah, everybody get in here, come have a race before big things are changing with the 86s and the TCRs. But more of that will be announced. This is your P1 winner here tonight for round 6. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, Mr. Jet O'Murray.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for what they do, and Steve and Tyson for doing race control, and Greg and everyone else.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
And new commentators.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We work too, I swear. Awesome, mate. Well, you go and get some rest up, buddy. I'm sure you got a big day ahead of you tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you on track again.
Thank you. See you.
See you, mate.
All right, mate. That is going to wind up our Cammus GR86 Series here tonight. Round 6 at where, Ryan?
Here,
Yeah,
Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. Of course, a massive shout out to all our other sponsors, Racecraft, Toyo Sim. Oh my lord, my words tonight.
It's Betty Buzz.
Yeah, it must be. Oh my gosh. Home of the V8 table. I've scuffed. Good job, me. Hang on, let me just do exactly what Jet just did and get my notes up. Oh my gosh. Right, huge shout out to Racecraft, Grim Industries, home of the V8 table. Warren and Brown Tools, Toyo Sim, Promo Department, Tempting Sweets, and of course to Rocket Unlimited for all the music you hear on stream. I have been a little bit of a offbeat Nathan ShiBBy tonight, but of course the man beside me, Ryan Green, has held up the broadcast all night. We are going to sign off tonight saying stay safe and race hard.